morning, YouTube. Well, today I'm going to visit the old Wyoming state pen, and let's go in and we get to take a tour and check this place out. Come on. During the years of operation, there were a number of men, 13 I believe, that were put to death for their crimes. Pretty much all were for first-degree murder. 8 of them were by use of the Julian gallows, and it's sort of a Rube Goldberg kind of deal. Is the trap door up here was held closed with this post and these boards. There's a model over here I can show you. Water from this bucket would run out, and when it got to a certain point, the counterweight would pull it and drop it. And they got good enough that they could pretty much, by the amount of water, go by the second. The other 5, I'm sorry, the other 6 were in a gas chamber from 1936 to 81, and I believe we're going to be able to see that in a little bit when we go inside. Again, all for first-degree murder except for this guy, and there's no particulars about the crime were unknown. He was dropped off here with a court order to be executed at the nearest state penitentiary. So you got to wonder what was going on there.
How we roll here. So this type of gallows was invented by this man on the blackboard. His name was James Julian, and he was a humanitarian and architect from Cheyenne that didn't believe any one man should have to bear the guilt of executing another. So he built this fancy set of gallows where the inmate would basically execute himself. He'd be asked to step out onto the trap door. His weight would push down on this jointed board, which would push down on this lever and start the water running out from the bucket. The water is attached to a counterweight. When the water weighs less than the weight's going to fall and it's going to jerk that board out from underneath him and drop him to his death. Takes anywhere minute and a half. During that time, he could actually hear this. So his last moments were spent listening to his life literally drain away. And so we wait. We executed 9 men by this method. Now it was hoped that when they fell, they would just instantly break their neck. Unfortunately, 9 men, 4 broke their neck. Now the sentence does read, hang from the neck until you're dead.
So this is cell block A. It's 13 cells on a tier and 4 tiers high. Originally, they had keys. It's figured out how to do the head, so they put the Johnson bars in when they added the 4 cells at the end. And trouble is, they're all locked or they're all unlocked.
Like another month when you're here in big coats and scarves and
so when they first opened, no water, no plumbing. That was added later. Basically, you had a bucket. So the first cells in this new cell block were punishment cells, solitary confinement, shut the door, pitch black. But the inmates found out that if they get down here, this was warm. They had heat in this block. This is the guards watching over the. So the prisoner who painted these murals had lost his one hand in an accident, so he couldn't do a lot of the prison jobs, but he could paint. So the warden had him do this, and he did real well. So this prison wall replaced a wooden stockade that 20 inmates cut through and walked away. One got away. 3 came back in body bags, and the rest were recaptured. So this is the exercise yard. Baseball was really big here, and basketball. And that big hole over there is from the movie Prison. Before this became a historic spot, they cut that hole to make it a new entry. So this is the gallows room, and this is where the trap door was. But after an escape attempt using that, they cemented over it. This was what was known as the one-way staircase. It goes up to death row, and you only went one way. Okay, so this is death row, basically, in this building. When you came up here, you did not leave except for after you'd been executed. There's 3 cells here, 3 on the other side. They were locked down 23 and a half hours a day. At half an hour, they could pace up and down inside there or come out and use this shower. And that's that's their life once they were convicted and put in. So this is what it would look like once they sealed the guy in. The warden could pull this lever, he would drop the cyanide capsules into the acid and wait for him to die. And all these other windows were for the witnesses. After he was pronounced dead, they could drop in a thing to neutralize it and then pull this lever and vent the gas outside. So this is the only spot with razor wire because the fence here made it so that they could try to climb out, and so it really didn't need to put it around the rest of the wall, just here. So through those gates, over 13,500 prisoners in the passed through and were incarcerated here between 1901 and 1981. It was only in use for 80 years. Well, I'm gonna leave the prison now and get on the road, see what I can find. Pretty interesting place if you're ever near Rawlings, Wyoming. It's right off of I-80. Come check this place out. It was $10 for an adult, $8 for seniors or children. So well worth the money.
Do you want to talk to?
Hey YouTube, I'm in the gas chamber. I think this is a good spot for me to leave the prison. Not in a box like the guys who sat in here before me. So see you later. I'm coming back out.